Have you ever been out, wandering in the woods during the off season after the main hunting seasons have quieted down?
Mm-hmm. That quiet time.
Yeah, exactly. Just enjoying the stillness, that crisp air. There's something really special about the outdoors then, isn't there?
Definitely a different kind of energy.
It's peaceful, but there's also this potential for finding something unexpected,
Mm.
a hidden treasure almost.
Right.
But what if that casual walk could actually become something more focused, more rewarding?
Okay.
Like, what if every little sign, every track could be a clue?
Leading to something specific.
Exactly. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into an activity that's all about that, shed hunting.
Ah, yes. Finding those dropped antlers.
Finding those antlers, but with a twist. We're looking specifically at doing it with a dog, a trained canine partner.
That's become really popular, hasn't it?
It really has.
Yeah.
It apparently turns a simple walk into this cool collaborative thing, and it seems like it offers way more than just, finding the sheds themselves.
Yeah. What's really fascinating here is just how much shed hunting with dogs has picked up steam. It's become notably popular in recent years, as our source puts it.
Right.
So in this exploration, we're going to unpack why. Why is it grabbing people? It's more than just the find.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into the dedication needed for training these dogs, which is significant, and the different ways people approach that training.
Different methods.
Yeah, different techniques, different philosophies almost. And of course, we'll talk about the key spots.
Yeah.
Where do deer actually drop these antlers?
The practical side.
Exactly. So ultimately, you see this mix of sport, serious dog training, and this really strong bond that develops.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit. So yeah, finding antlers sounds cool, but why bring a dog into it? What's the real appeal there beyond just maybe finding more?
That's a really good starting point.
Oh,
Because it's got multiple layers. The core benefits that our source material points out are pretty interesting.
Mm.
Firstly, for a lot of people, especially those with hunting dogs already, it's a fantastic way to keep that training going, to keep the dog's senses sharp during the off-season.
so it bridges the gap between hunting seasons.
Precisely. Think about a bird dog, right?
Yeah.
They're used to using their nose, focusing intensely. Shed hunting keeps that drive engaged, keeps them conditioned. It's good mental and physical work.
Makes sense. Keeps them from getting bored too, probably.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But maybe even more important, the source really highlights how it strengthens the bond, the relationship between you and your dog.
How so?
Well, imagine you're out there together. You've got this shared goal, right? You're relying on their incredible sense of smell.
Which is way better than ours.
Oh, absolutely. And they're relying on you for guidance, for direction. It builds this unique kind of trust, a communication that's different from just, basic obedience.
So it's more like a partnership.
Exactly. A real team effort, working towards something exciting together. It's not just fetch. It's a mission.
That idea of partnership really comes through in some of the stories. We found this one about a guy named Rod Shepherd and his lab, Ridge, a fox red lab.
Okay.
And Rod's experience was pretty amazing, especially considering it was Ridge's first year actively searching for wild sheds.
First year? Wow.
Yeah. And Ridge was only 15 months old, still basically a puppy. And they weren't just searching the backyard, they were covering ground across Missouri, Iowa, Illinois.
Ambitious. So how did they do?
Get this. In that first year, Ridge found by himself over 20 plus sheds.
20. At 15 months. That's incredible.
Right. Rod himself said it was an accomplishment I could not have imagined or even think was possible. You can just feel his pride.
I bet. That must have been thrilling to watch.
Totally. Imagine seeing your young dog figure it out, finding something you'd definitely have missed. Now, Ridge did have some initial training on antlers beforehand at a place called Antler Ridge in Missouri.
Okay, so a foundation.
A foundation, yeah. But Rod emphasized they kept practicing constantly, hiding sheds for Ridge to find, keeping that skill sharp and the drive alive.
That constant practice seems key.
So from your perspective, what is it about that kind of success, that shared goal, especially in a dog's first season, that makes it such a powerful experience?
It really highlights the potential, doesn't it? Both
Mhm.
the dog's innate ability and what focused training can unlock.
Right.
For Rod, it wasn't just a number, I'm sure.
Right.
It was seeing Ridge step up, use his instincts, work with that training. That moment a dog locks onto a scent you can't even perceive, follows it, makes the find. It's pure teamwork.
Interspecies teamwork.
Exactly. And witnessing that, seeing your dog's natural drive merge with the skills you've helped build, it just deepens your respect for them. They stop being just a pet and become this indispensable partner in the adventure.
Ridge's story is super inspiring. But it also begs the question, okay, how much effort are we really talking about here? How much time, how much dedication does it actually take to train a dog for this?
Yeah, that's the reality check, isn't it? Stories like Ridges are fantastic motivation, but those results don't just materialize. The
Mm,
source is very clear. It does take time and dedication to train a dog to shed hunt. It's a real commitment.
not a weekend project.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
The training itself, as described, sounds a lot like training for, say, upland bird hunting.
Okay, similar principles.
Similar need for focus, using the nose, and especially the need for constant training. It's not like teaching sits once.
Mm.
To keep them sharp, to keep them interested, you have to keep working at it. Regularly hiding sheds, reinforcing those finds, making it a consistent part of their routine.
Constant training. So are there specific like drills or methods people use? How do you keep it fresh for the dog?
Oh, absolutely. A really common method involves setting up patterns or blinds. You might
Yeah.
start in an easy spot, like an open field,
Okay.
walk a grid maybe, hide a shed, and guide the dog to find it. Initially relying on sight maybe, but quickly transitioning to scent.
Got it.
Then you make it harder. Increase the distance, move to woods with trickier wind, hide it so they have to use their nose. It's all about progressive steps, keeping it challenging but achievable. Positive reinforcement is huge.
Right, making it fun for them.
Exactly. Now, in terms of how you get this training done, there are basically a couple of main rights people take.
Okay.
Lots of folks choose to train their dogs themselves. And there are good resources out there to help. Things like dog bone hunter training systems are mentioned. They offer guides, videos, step-by-step plans.
The DIY approach requires patience, I imagine.
Loads of it.
Yeah.
But it can be incredibly rewarding building that skill together from the ground up. The other path is professional training,
Hiring an expert.
right? And if you go that route, the key takeaway is do your research. Look into the trainers, understand their techniques to make sure they align with your desired style.
Align with your style. What does that mean exactly? What are the different styles or techniques?
That's where it gets interesting, actually. There isn't just one way to train a shed dog. It's quite varied.
Oh, like what?
Well, for instance, some trainers are big believers in using antler scent early on.
Artificial scent.
Yeah, synthetic stuff, or scent collected from real antlers. They put it on training dummies or sheds to really get the dog focused on that specific odor.
Okay, makes sense.
But others don't use added scent at all. They want the dog to learn the natural smell of a weathered shed right from the start. They argue it makes for a more reliable dog in the long run.
Interesting. Different philosophies.
Totally. And then there's the range aspect. Some trainers focus on long-range searches, teaching the dog to quarter back and forth, covering huge areas maybe hundreds of yards away from you.
Good for big, open country.
Exactly. Others focus on short-range work, keeping the dog much closer, maybe within 30 or 40 yards. Better for thick cover, smaller properties, or if you just prefer working closely with your dog.
So you choose based on where and how you'll hunt.
Precisely. And one more key difference. What does the dog do when it finds the shed? Some trainers teach the dog just to locate the antlers. The dog finds it, then sits or points or gives some other signal. You then walk over to the find.
Okay.
Others train the dog to actually pick up the shed and retrieve it back to you.
Like a bird dog bringing back a bird.
Exactly. Each has pros and cons. Locating prevents the dog from potentially chewing or damaging the antler. Retrieving is efficient, saves you walking, but needs a dog with a soft mouth.
Wow. Okay. Lots to consider just in the training approach.
It really is personalized.
So tying into that style thing, what about the dog itself, the breed? The source mentions people argue about the best breed, mentioning pointing dogs or herding dogs. Is there a magic bullet breed?
Yeah, you hear labs mentioned constantly. Goldens, too. Their retrieving instinct is obviously a plus.
Sure.
But the source is right. People have success with all sorts. Pointing breeds, herding dogs like Aussies or Border Collies. They're smart-driven dogs.
So it's not just about breed then?
Not really. The key phrase is finding the right dog that fit your training style, lifestyle, and hunting style. It's more about the individual dog's temperament, drive, and how it meshes with you.
Okay.
Are you active? Can you handle a high-energy dog? Do you want a dog that works independently or one that constantly checks in? Those questions are maybe more important than the pedigree.
So temperament, energy level, willingness to please, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. A good nose helps, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, finding the right fit for your life and how you plan to train and hunt is paramount. Could be a purebred, could be a mix.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So let's say you've done the work. You've got your canine partner trained up, ready to go. Now, where do you actually go? What does knowing all this mean for finding sheds out in the wild?
Right, connecting the training to the actual hunt. This is where understanding deer behavior becomes critical. Finding sheds isn't just wandering aimlessly and hoping the dog bumps into one.
There's a strategy.
Absolutely. It's about knowing where deer spend their time and why antlers might drop in those specific spots. The source gives some great pointers.
Like what? Where are the hot spots?
Okay, first up, bedding areas. Makes sense, right? These are the spots where deer spend most of the time during the day relaxing.
Thick cover, usually.
Yeah, think heavy grasses, timber, and hidden bushes.
Yeah.
Places they feel secure. Since they're resting there, maybe jostling around a bit as they lie down or get up, a loose antler has a good chance of just falling off.
Low activity, high probability.
Pretty much. You look for those secluded, thick spots, often south-facing slopes in winter for warmth.
Okay, bedding areas. What else?
Travel corridors. These are the routes deer use to move between areas, often far away from human activity. Think fence lines, creek crossings, natural funnels in the terrain.
Why there?
Physical exertion, jumping a fence, scrambling up a creek bank, pushing through thick brush. That sudden movement or jarring action can easily knock a loose antler off.
Ah, the obstacle course effect.
Kinda, yeah. So walking those corridors, looking near crossings, can be really productive. Then there are cedar beds, specifically mentioned as places where deer bed for the night.
Why cedars?
Great thermal cover, especially in winter. Deer pack into these thickets for warmth and protection. Again, concentrated time spent resting equals higher chance of a dropped antler. Look for those dense stands.
Makes sense. Resting spots seem key.
They are. But sore feeding spots, standing crops are another big one.
Like leftover corn or beans.
Exactly. Fields left standing over winter are crucial food and cover. Deer search for food and usually drop sheds while spending a lot of time there. They're moving through, heads down, bumping stalks.
More opportunities for antlers to get knocked off.
You got it. Walking those fields, especially edges and inside the rows after harvest or through the winter, is a classic shed hunting tactic. And finally, a really prime location. Mating areas.
Okay, related to the rut.
Directly. The source says these are one of the best places because mating involves a high amount of body movement, which can cause antler shedding.
All that chasing and sparring.
Yeah, the rut is intense. Bucks are fighting, chasing does, constantly moving, rubbing trees. All that physical stress makes it very likely for already loosening antlers to detach. Look for areas with lots of rubs and scrapes from the previous fall.
Wow. Okay, so knowing that deer behavior really transforms the search.
It absolutely does. You're not just relying on luck or the dog's nose randomly. You're strategically targeting high probability areas.
You're directing the search. You and the dog become much more efficient as a team.
Exactly. You're combining your knowledge of the animal and the landscape with the dog's incredible scenting ability. Hunting smarter, not just harder.
That's really fascinating. Okay, so let's sort of recap our journey here. We've looked at shed hunting with dogs, starting with how surprisingly effective a trained dog can be. Like Ridge finding over 20 sheds at just 15 months old.
An amazing start.
Yeah. Then we dove into the training itself, the commitment involved, the different paths you can take, whether you train yourself using systems or find a professional whose style fits yours.
And all those nuances, like using scent or not, long range versus short, locate versus retrieve.
Right, tailoring it to your needs. And then finally, understanding the why behind where sheds are found, using deer behavior bedding, travel, feeding, mating areas to guide the search.
Putting all the pieces together.
It really paints a picture of an activity that's much deeper than just picking up antlers off the ground.
It really is.
Yeah.
And, this whole deep dive, it kind of raises a broader point, doesn't it? Shed hunting, especially with a dog, it's more than just a treasure hunt. It becomes this way to connect more deeply with nature and definitely with your dog. It teaches patience, observation. You're developing skills, both you and the animal.
Being present out there.
Yeah, really engaging with the environment during that quiet off-season, appreciating the subtle things, and building that incredible partnership.
It's a powerful combination. So as we wrap up, maybe we can leave our listeners with a thought, building on that idea of finding hidden value, maybe with a partner. What hidden treasures might you be missing in your own familiar places, your own woods or fields, just because you haven't quite learned how to look yet? Or maybe, just maybe, you haven't found or trained the right partner, human or canine, to help you finally see what's been there all along.